All right, what is the greatest fantasy football season of all time? I have the 64 best fantasy football seasons since 2010 in a bracket. We're going to celebrate March Madness and we are going to find the greatest fantasy season of the last 15 years. I hope that you guys agree with my eventual champion. If there's anyone I'm missing, comment down below and we'll rerun the bracket beginning with our 1 seed and our 64 seed Christian McCaffrey versus Maurice Jones-Drew. This was an incredible season for MJD. But of course, we have to go with the absurd 471 points for Christian McCaffrey. Definitely taking the insane offensive player of the year season for Cooper Cup over AJ Green. This Calvin Johnson, Devontae Adams one closer than you might have thought, but come on. We got to have Calvin Johnson advancing there. The Gurley season for me, much more memorable than that Welker season. I do remember that insane 2011 Wes Welker season. I once lost a fantasy football matchup to a 99-yard Wes Welker touchdown. I did include quarterbacks in this bracket because I wanted to include some of the truly memorable seasons. But if you guys know me, you know there's no way we are taking Justin Herbert's 2021 380 points over Derrick Henry's 336 in 2024. That was easy. Got an upset alert there. Number 48, Derrick Henry over 17, Justin Herbert. We are going to go with Jordy Nelson's 2014 over Jamar Chase's. And you might be saying, Davis, Jamar Chase was so much better. What you guys have to remember is that 2014 was a totally different environment for passing the football. Jordy Nelson's 327 points were so much more valuable back then. And I think, we also have to remember that Aaron Rodgers Jordy Nelson connection was something special. Again, you might am a little bit biased there. Maybe controversially, I mean, is this the most controversial? Two pretty bad guys, Ray Rice and Adrian Peterson. 2011, Ray Rice. 2012, Adrian Peterson. That Adrian Peterson season was his 2,000-yard rushing season. Didn't have to farm a bunch of PPR points there. We are going to advance Adrian Peterson there. Another upset alert. Jonathan Taylor's 2021. I'd forgotten how good he was then versus Matt Forte in 2014. Matt Forte with 102 receptions that season. That is a PPR scam. We're going to go there as well. Oh, this one is going to really pain me, guys. Mahomes' insane 2022 season with 5,200 passing yards. There is no chance that you can talk about the greatest fantasy seasons of all time and not talk about Josh Gordon winning the receiving yards title in only 14 games for that awful Browns team. We are advancing Josh Gordon over a 4 seed Patrick Mahomes. By the way, these are just sorted based on total fantasy points scored. So no complex mathematical formula there. Justin Jefferson versus Andrew Luck, that Jefferson 2022 season. Of course, got to do the Cam Newton MVP season over St. Brown. The 2023 Tyreek season, that first one in Miami. I'm actually going Debo because that Debo season, that was just so fun to watch him score all of those touchdowns. His rushing stats are not here, but he had the 8 rushing touchdowns. More unique season. I'm also doing I got to do sadly, I do have to take Peyton Manning over 2022 Travis Kelce because, again, we got to remember part of this bracket for me is telling the story and the story of the 2013 Denver Broncos. They completely broke fantasy football. I'm going Le'Veon Bell, the Killer Bees, Steelers over DeMarco Murray. Of course, got to take Arian Foster over LaShawn McCoy. And I'm taking my boy, Julio Jones or Demaryius Thomas. Gosh, that one is awful close. Honestly, I just loved Demaryius Thomas. And of course, rest in peace to my guy, Demaryius Thomas, there as well. So that is I suppose, the eastern side of the bracket. Only one tight end season left alive. Let's go to the right side of the bracket. JSN in 2025 versus Jalen Hurts in 2023. We're going to go JSN. Oh, the 2018 Barkley season versus the 2018 DeAndre Hopkins season. Let's go Barkley, whatever. Jamal Charles over Dak. That's easy going Jamal Charles. Lamb in 2023 versus A-Chain in 2025. We're going to go Lamb. Austin Eckler's breakout season in 2022 versus Matt Ryan. We're going to go Eckler. The 2020 Diggs season versus 2011 Rodgers. Let's actually go 2011 Rodgers because that was one of the peak Rodgers seasons. Slant boy Michael Thomas versus Tom Brady. I hate Tom Brady, so we're going to do Michael Thomas there. Wow, I did not plan this, but how about that? 2024 Michael Vick versus the legendary 2010 Philadelphia Eagles season, the most electric quarterback fantasy season ever. I completely agree. We are advancing Michael Vick there. 2025 Gibbs versus May. That's Gibbs easy. 2014 AB versus Gronk in 2011. That's easy Gronk. We're going to do Kamara over Cook. Easy David Johnson over Odell Beckham. Why? Because I love David Johnson. David Johnson attended college with my childhood best friend. They were teammates at the University of Northern Iowa. And I don't like Odell Beckham Jr. 2025 Bijan versus 2017 Russell Wilson was kind of a vibe, but we're gonna go Bijan. We're gonna take Zeke over Breeze, and we're taking 2025 Puka and his 375 PPR points over Roethlisberger. So we are now down to the region of 32. 2019 CMC versus 2011 Calvin Johnson. I mean, you got to give it to the one seed there. 2017 Gurley versus 2024 Henry. That's definitely Gurley. 2014 Jordy Nelson versus 2012 Peterson. That's Peterson. Oh, I missed one up here. Oh, Josh Jacobs versus Josh Allen. Sure, I'll give Josh Allen there. I'm giving I'm gonna keep this is an upset alert. I'm gonna keep going with this insane Matt Forte season with the 102 receptions. We are gonna keep Josh Gordon alive on this side of the bracket. We are, you know what? I'm giving it to Debo again. This Debo season, I think people forget that Debo season was like we've never really seen anything like that Debo season. Those rushing touchdowns were completely insane. I'm also going to keep Peyton Manning's record-breaking season alive here, and I think we got to keep Arian Foster alive on that side of the bracket as well. These are truly some of the record-breaking seasons. We are now in. You guys all remember where you were when this happened. All right, back to the other side of the bracket. 2021 Cooper Cup over JSN. 2013 Jamal Charles over Barkley. That's easy. I think you got to go Eckler over Lamb. That's going to be an upset alert, just again because of the context of where those guys came from. That Eckler season was just unbelievable. Led the NFL in touchdowns, 107 receptions. He was the most valuable guy basically in PPR that year. We're going to do the peak slant boy Michael Thomas season over Aaron Rodgers, keeping that Vic season alive for sure. Oh, man. Okay, so you've got the peak Gronk season versus the all time 6 touchdown Christmas game from Kamara. What do you value? This one's tough. This is a real Sophie's choice. I actually don't really know which one I want to take. Oh, you know what? The 6 touchdowns was just so incredible. I'm gonna give it to Kamara just barely. I'm keeping the David Johnson season alive, and I'm also gonna keep that Puka season alive that just happened again. That Puka season, I know it just happened, a little bit of recency bias, but truly insane stuff. All right. McCaffrey's 2019 season versus Todd Gurley. We're going to go McCaffrey. We're going to do the 2,000-yard Adrian Peterson season. Definitely keeping Josh Gordon's 2013 alive. Like, really, to me, this is who I'm rooting for. I'm rooting for that Josh Gordon season. I mean, I know I'm the one who gets to click it, but we're definitely going to do that. All right, two of the biggest stories in fantasy football history: the Peyton Manning first year in Denver, where they broke every record of all time, passing yards, touchdowns, the Broncos offense. Unbelievable. If you were there. And then Adrian Peterson leading the NFL in yards, touchdowns, and total touchdowns. This was, I think, a real you remember where you were when it happened. I actually think Arian Foster is more integral to kind of the history of fantasy football. So I'm going to put Arian Foster in there. Back to the other side of the bracket. Again, hot take. You guys might disagree with this. I'm taking the Jamal Charles 2013 season over the Cooper Cup season. Um, Honestly, mostly just because I like Jamal Charles more. Again, you can disagree with me down below. I'm going to do the slant boy Michael Thomas season over the Austin Eckler breakout year. I'm also going to do the Michael Vick Monday Night Miracle season over Alvin Kamara. And I'm also taking the 407-point David Johnson season there as well. Again, that's kind of a remember where you were type situation in PPR. So we are down to the Elite Eight. We have CMC's record breaking season versus Adrian Peterson's 2,000-yard season. We're going to do CMC. We've got two of the all-time memes. Again, did not set things up like this, so it's just kind of fun. It's playing out this way. The Josh Gordon meme season versus the Arian Foster insane season. 314 points, but again, only 14 games versus 392 points for Arian Foster. I have to give it to Foster. I wanted it to be Josh Gordon. I wanted to get Josh Gordon to the final, but we've got to go Foster there. Jamal Charles, 2013 versus the all-time slant boy season. How many receptions for Michael Thomas that season? I mean, just completely insane. 149 set the all-time NFL receiving receptions record. But I'm going Jamal Charles again, mostly because I want to. And I'm actually, man, Michael Vick versus David Johnson, 310 points, 30 total touchdowns. Honestly, like, kind of reinvented the quarterback position. But I'm going David Johnson again. The first player since Marshall Faulk to have 1,000 rushing yards and 1,000 receiving yards, was the number one overall pick the next year. So we now have got McCaffrey's 2019 versus Arian Foster. We're gonna go Foster. We're gonna go David Johnson. Certainly an argument to be made. I just think if you look in the terms of, if you define fantasy football, you define what the activity is, all the things that led up to Arian Foster being there. I think you have to say Arian Foster's 2010 was the greatest fantasy football season of all time, if you consider the fact of, you're still talking about this, right? If you had Arian Foster in your league in 2010, you remember the pick you took him, you remember the buddies that you beat. I mean, I think the same thing can obviously be said of Christian McCaffrey's 2019, of Jamal Charles, that game against the Raiders, of David Johnson's insane run in that season. But I think this exercise to me proved exactly what I thought it was, which is that, I mean, raw points is an interesting way to think about it, but what more defines the greatest fantasy football season of all time is your associated memories with it. And for me, for my money, Arian Foster's 2010 PPR season was the greatest fantasy football season of all time. I have made my case. That's what I think, but I wanna know, what's the one season that you guys think, either what season did I miss from putting in the bracket, or what was the worst decision that I made? Is Arian Foster's 2010 season really the greatest season in fantasy football history?